Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation. What is a derivation? We live in a world, we live in an environment. We are trying to describe that world. We've identified a general form of the solution, of a resolution. It is what it is. We've identified a specific form of a solution, sensorality. And so we've done a bunch of numeric and logical iteration. We've proven that our basis has two elements, sen and sor, and so we're showing fundamental differentiation of a word family, looking for our stabilizing theorem. So, continuing on, sensorality is representality. Sensorality is representativity, right? We have representatives. In our government here in the United States, we have the House of Representatives. So, sensorality, life, is representative. Sensorality determines urgency. Sensorality is urgentality. Urgentality, gentality. Sensorality culminates. An orgasm is a culmination. A culmination is a peak. Culmination peaks. Here's a good one where I'm telling you we're going to have this logical statement with a bunch of prefix and suffix, and then our logic, our new derivation, right, we're deriving down. So we live in this big environment, now we're having these logical statements. We've proven and demonstrated the consistency of sound. Those sounds are formalized into syllables. Syllables are formalized into words. Words are formalized into languages. And so we're deriving a physical axiom from the logic of words. And so a good example of this is algorithmicality is technologicality, right? What is technology? What is an algorithm? It's these two words, both of which are not well defined, but if you ask somebody, is an algorithm technology? I'm going to say they're going to say yes. And so we have this consistency of conceptualization. Words have meaning that paints a picture in your head, and we all have the same pictures in the head because we all interact with the same world around us. And so algorithmicality is technologicality, gives us the simple physical relationship is how does knowledge, right, technology, like listen to the word, the sound is what is preserved. Those sounds, again, are associated to meanings, and you can't reduce a word past its empirical meaning, right? In the same way, if I said basket, if I just said bask, it has a completely different meaning. So each time you chop off a word, once you get to a place where you can't chop the word down anymore, basket, bask, ba, right? That would be a syllable, it's not a word. And it doesn't have any unique meaning to in and of itself. But algorithmicality is technologicality. Prefix and suffix, we've related algorithm to technology. What is the relationship of rhythm and knowledge? I don't know. Does rhythm directly cause knowledge? Rhythm increases the efficiency of all motion, of all physical systems. If you try to do any process and you want to maximize that efficiency, you're going to form a rhythm. The title of this lecture series, the logical sequence or structure that we're iterating is from rhythm, that's our base, to algorithm. And so algorithms are technological. What is the relationship of rhythm and knowledge? And so knowledge is definitely the product of efficiency. It's efficient to know things. And so rhythm causes knowledge? Sure, why not? And not the point. We're just trying to derive. There'll be a very clear linguistical, a statement, a sentence that's undeniable, and it'll solidify all of this, as I say in every episode. Because I'm trying to encapsulate all of this logic in a single video, but it's just, again, it's a natural process and it will happen when it happens. And there's no uniqueness of the stabilizing thing. It's just sitting here talking about all of these ideas, and it'll be all of the logic will be encapsulated in a single word because language is consistent. We already know the solutions out there. But technology echoes. And so I just have a natural definition because you can see, right, kind of sounds funny, technology echoes. Right, you can't say no or yes to that. You're like, what does that mean? Again, it just has to be consistent. And you can literally see the word echo in the word technology. And so when you have technology and then you have echo, and this is that iteration versus amalgamation aspect, right? When you form echo from technology, it's not really, right, the sound technology, or those are two syllables, or technology, the syllable, that's the syllables. But point being is the prefix looks like tech, and then knowledge, and then E, right? E is this generalizing sound. It's like my bed, it's bed-E. It's like my book bag, it's book bag-E, right? That's like fun, it's fun-y, right? And so you have the actual sound preserved by the word technology, technology. And so what is that prefix tech? But then linguistically, we can see like that echo is within technology. So we can say technology echoes. And we're just showing this progression of how language differentiates and how it builds. Sensorality is technicality. Technicality is specific, right? You say something, you do something, and somebody says, oh, technically, right? That's what they're doing. What is the relationship of policy and police, right? Police enforce policy, right? Law enforcement. But more specifically, we're looking at the words. Clearly, you just changed the policy to police. But policy, police, right? So you get, what is this going from, how do we contract syllability? 3 syllables to 2 syllables, stuff like that. Sensorality is industriality, right? Reality, industriality, right? Industrial. Life builds industry. Noun, announcer. What is an announcer? An announcer is a narrator, right? Sensorality is narrationality. But it was just, again, another one of those interesting pairs, right? Noun, announcer, right? It's very literal, right? Language is literal. What is an announcer? Go watch a sports game and it's the commentator, right? An announcer, commentator, narrator. But it literally, linguistically, once again, announcer. Sensorality is narrationality. Pristine is mint, right? Last time we talked about prime is pristine. Pristine is mint. It's in mint condition. It's in prime condition. It's in pristine condition. Showing you this logic building, differentiating the linguistics. Mentality, mentality. Relativity is conditionality, right? It's conditional. If this is relative to that, there's a condition. Integration, implements. Sensorality is implementationality. Vulgarity is explicative or explicative. Yeah, you like I said, if it's a swear word, it's an explicative. I can't speak today. Reproduction duplicates. What is the relationship of multiplication and duplication? Again, we already kind of know the answer to this one. It's the same word, like there's the existence of the word both. Our counting systems is 1, 2, many, because that's representative of when I'm saying R3 is unstabilized. All physical systems are interacting, exchanging energy and mass through this universal pressure gradient. And so we have these unique words for stabilized dynamics. Or you don't have a word that is equivalent to both for 3. And similar, or kind of in the same kind of logical arena, right? You have the word duplication exists, right? So you have multiplication, right? Duplication is a form of multiplication, but it's just for 2, right? And so we can see all of the existence of these words, this stability of 2. And so many multiplies. Go forth and multiply. A factor is not a multiple, right? If you say I have the number 27 and I'm going to reduce it to its factors, right? You can reduce it to 9 and 3. Then you can reduce 9 to 3 times 3. So 27 can be represented 3 times 3 times 3 or 9 times 3. So we have this irreducibility factor, or this property of irreducibility, which is really like the motivation, which is way more general of a proofing element than saying, how many prime numbers are there, what prime number this, prime number that. Really what that is representative of is the property of irreducibility. And so when you factor something, you're reducing it to its most basic elementality, right? And so a factor is not a multiple, right? You would say like 27 is a multiple of 9 and 3 because you're multiplying 9 by 3. Do syllables multiply? All right, we kind of talked about syllables are factors of words, and they are. But do they multiply? No. When I think of multiply, right, you're proliferating. You're getting bigger faster, right? If you're doing it way faster, you're exponentiating. But if you multiply, you're getting bigger faster than something as simple as addition. In integration, you're adding something. So kind of like the difference between multiplication and addition is the rate at which you're expanding or increasing. And so do syllables multiply? No. Multiplication proliferates. Density is concentrationality. Dispersion is the opposite of concentration. Dispensing distributes. Condensation is the opposite of distribution. A word is an irreducible unit of sound. Gonna keep getting back to it. I think I introduced it well, but again, the whole proof we're getting to a reduction. The whole thing is going to be in one video. Then it's going to be one sentence. Then it's going to be one dichotomistic pair, and then the next axiom in its general variable form. But a word, right? You have sound from vibration. And then you put structure to that sound. Yes, now I can talk and I sound like a robot. And then you put cadence and inflection and I talk naturally. And so you have sound. That sound is structured into syllables. Those syllables contain meaning, I think, right? Can we take, do syllables have meaning? No, I don't think syllables have meaning in and of itself. Again, because we've already proven all of these things. We're demonstrating the irreducibility, this property of irreducibility, by showing this completeness of sensorality. And so I don't think syllables have unique meaning in and of themselves. Words are the things that are irreducible, that are complete to meaning, that are stabilized with meaning. Right? Again, if I say basket and I take off the ket, right? If I just say ket, that doesn't mean anything. But if I say basket and then I say bask, you see me removing the syllables. Right? So literally, again, syllable is able to sill, so it can kind of derive, right? Again, break down entirely what syllable could represent, or again, where that word comes from. But then why do you have words for letters? Why do you have words for syllables? So where it's some sort of, false knot. I'm missing an intuitive piece, again, that I've already conceptualized. But I'm showing you this iteration process. And so syllable is able to sill. Syllables structure sound, words structure syllables. Does memory have a location? No. Yeah, just no. So that is what I have for derivation today. Again, some of this stuff might seem redundant, but that is what a first principle proof is. You use pure logic, so to speak, but does pure logic even exist when physics, sound is physical? And so we're doing physics, right? Well, we're just doing physics. But that's what I have for you today. Thank you for watching. My rights continue to be violated. It is profound and extensive torture. I'm simply asking for basic financial stability so I can take care of my health and work. I've given up on truly everything else, and I simply do not have those things. I am the victim of crime. It is being perpetrated by the government. Hundreds of thousands of people with legal and professional obligations know and won't do anything. There's no one for me to call. There's nothing for me to do. I just need somebody to do the right thing for the first time in their life. But regardless, that's what I have for you today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.